There was a time when the world watched royal children grow up in the shadows of their elders. But Princess Charlotte is changing that narrative. At just 10 years old, she's not only third in line to the British throne, but also holds the title of the world's richest child. This video explores the extraordinary life of a modern-day princess. Let's start with a staggering figure that sets her apart from every other child on the planet. Princess Charlotte, daughter of Prince William and Kate Middleton, is reportedly worth around $5 billion. Not because she owns a tech empire or inherited a massive fortune, but because of the ripple effect her image creates in the real world. Every time Charlotte is seen in public, whether she's wearing a coat from Bowden or holding a satchel from Cath Kidston, the item tends to sell out within hours. It's not just a theory, it's happened repeatedly. After she was photographed in a yellow cardigan for her second birthday portrait, the sweater vanished from shelves. Retailers saw an immediate spike. It's now referred to in marketing circles as the Charlotte effect, which sounds like something made up for a royal-themed column, but it's actually tracked by business outlets and sales analysts. What's interesting is that this isn't just about cute clothes on a cute kid. Charlotte's presence taps into something bigger: the power of perception, timing, and media saturation. In an age when people are glued to royal updates, especially those involving younger royals, anything associated with her becomes instantly valuable. This doesn't happen to the same degree with her brothers. Prince George might be older, and Prince Louis might just be as adorable, but Charlotte seems to spark the most attention. Maybe it's the timing of her appearances, or maybe the public simply finds her style more relatable. Whatever the reason, the effect is measurable. This kind of influence has real monetary weight. Not imaginary, not theoretical, actual revenue, product movement, and brand alignment. Companies that benefit from it don't need to run massive ad campaigns, they just need a single photo of Charlotte wearing their product. It's a rare combination of tradition, visibility, and public fascination that keeps turning her into a billion-dollar brand before she's even old enough to realize what that means. From her first moments, Charlotte was destined to make history. She was born on May 2, 2015 at St. Mary's Hospital in London, and the attention was immediate. Press, royal watchers, and curious onlookers crowded outside the Linda wing, just like they did for her older brother, Prince George. But this time, something was different, even if most people didn't realize it yet. Her name, Charlotte Elizabeth Diana, told a story all on its own. It connected her to 3 generations of the royal family: her grandfather, King Charles III, her great-grandmother, Queen Elizabeth II, and the grandmother she would never meet, Princess Diana. It was a rare moment of unity across eras, a quiet acknowledgement of both continuity and change within the monarchy. But what really set her apart was something that had nothing to do with titles or tradition. Thanks to a law passed just 2 years before she was born, Charlotte became the first female royal in British history to keep her place in the line of succession, even though she had a younger brother. Before the succession to the Crown Act of 2013, boys automatically moved ahead of their sisters, no matter who was born first. That rule had stood for centuries. But now, because of this quiet legislative shift, Charlotte remained fourth in line to the throne, behind Prince George and ahead of Prince Louis, simply because she was born before him. That single change didn't make front-page news for long, but it mattered. It meant that Charlotte's future wouldn't be shaped by old expectations just because she's a girl. Instead, her role will come down to timing, responsibility, and how the royal family chooses to move forward in the years ahead. For once, birth order and gender didn't tell the whole story, and that alone marked a quiet but powerful shift. Beyond titles and wealth, Charlotte's education is shaping her for the future. She goes to Lambrook, a private prep school in Berkshire, not far from Windsor. It's a co-ed and boarding school with tennis courts, a golf course, and even a farm with pigs and chickens. Hardly what most kids are used to, but not exactly outlandish by royal standards. What makes it stand out is less about the amenities and more about what it teaches. Lambrook focuses on what it calls the whole child. That means it's not just about exams or academic pressure, though those exist. It's also meant about making sure kids grow up with some perspective. They're taught things like leadership, empathy, and resilience. Practical stuff that doesn't show up on a report card, but matters when you're being raised in a world that watches your every move. Students are encouraged to try a little bit of everything, which is exactly how Charlotte spends her time there. She takes ballet and music lessons, just like a lot of kids her age. She's also into gymnastics, something her mother Kate has said helps with confidence and strength. What's different here is the structure around it. It's not just extracurricular filler, the school takes those programs seriously, with experienced teachers and regular performances or competitions, which gives the students something real to work toward. Charlotte's parents seem to want to grow her up with a sense of balance. Lambrook fits that goal because it doesn't cater to fame or special treatment. If anything, it tries to keep kids grounded even if their last name is Windsor. It's not about training her to be queen, that's not how any of this works, but it is giving her the tools to grow up in a world where every word and action might be scrutinized later. That's not something every school can prepare you for, but this one comes close. Her influence isn't limited to royal duties. The fashion world takes cues from Charlotte. She's 10 years old and already moving the needle in children's fashion in a way that doesn't feel manufactured. It just happens. Take the 2023 Easter service, for example. She showed up wearing a navy coat that matched Kate Middleton's and social media lit up. It wasn't just the matching, it was the way it looked intentional but not overdone. People noticed. Brands noticed. This kind of attention usually goes to pop stars or influencers. But Charlotte, just by showing up to family events, manages to set trends. One week she's in a floral Zara dress, and by the end of that same day, it's nearly impossible to find it in stores. Not because Zara ran a campaign, but because someone caught a photo of her wearing it. That's not ordinary, it's the kind of organic pull that fashion marketers spend years chasing and rarely find. What makes it more interesting is how consistent it is. Her wardrobe isn't extravagant or over-designed, it's simple, age-appropriate, and always a step ahead of what you'd expect. That's why brands like Amaya Kids have quietly benefited from the exposure, even though they don't promote her outfits publicly. They don't need to. A photo does the work for them. It's also not just about what she wears, it's how she wears it. Charlotte never looks like she's dressed to make a point, she looks like a kid who happens to have good taste, which is probably helped by her mother, who's been influencing adult fashion for over a decade. The two of them stepping out in similar coats or matching color schemes makes it feel like more grounded, more relatable. It's not about royalty as much as it is about people seeing a moment they could imagine themselves in, or their own kids in, and wanting to recreate that. So, while Charlotte isn't picking her wardrobe for runway attention, the fashion world is still paying close attention. And for now, she doesn't need to try. The effect is already there. Despite her young age, Charlotte is no stranger to the public eye. She's shown up at some of the most significant royal events of the last few years, not just as a spectator, but as someone who clearly understands she has a role to play. At Queen Elizabeth II's funeral in 2022, Charlotte, just 7 at the time, stood in full uniform, positioned between her brothers. It wasn't just about following instructions, the way she carried herself stood out. She looked composed and focused, not distracted by the cameras or overwhelmed by the crowd. A year later, during King Charles II's coronation, she appeared again with a quiet confidence that seems unusual for a child her age. She walked alongside Prince Louis, and while he's known for being the more animated of the two, Charlotte subtly kept him in check when needed. There was a moment during the balcony appearance when Louis got a bit fidgety. Charlotte nudged him gently, nothing over the top, just a small gesture, but it said a lot about how aware she is of what's going on around her. She's also started appearing at more historically themed events, like the 80th anniversary of V-Day. That kind of setting isn't designed for children, but she didn't seem out of place. She's not performing or trying to be noticed, she's just doing what's expected and doing it well. That level of comfort in front of the public doesn't happen by accident. It's the result of being gradually brought into the world she was born into, with clear expectations and steady guidance. It's easy to forget she's only 10 when you see how she handles herself at these events. There's no awkwardness, no signs of discomfort, and unlike the more rehearsed adult appearances, hers feel more genuine simply because there's no script, just presence. Whether it's at Westminster Abbey or waving to crowds from a car window, Charlotte's already developed the kind of public ease that usually takes years to build. Behind the palace walls, Charlotte enjoys a family life filled with love and normalcy. Her home isn't Buckingham Palace or some towering castle, it's Adelaide Cottage, a 4-bedroom house tucked into the grounds of Windsor Home Park. It's the kind of palace where the family can slip into a quieter routine without the constant buzz of London. They moved there to be closer to nature, better schools, and more privacy, and it seems to be working. Charlotte spends a lot of time with her brothers, George and Louise. 3 of them are often spotted at royal events standing side by side, but it's the little in-between moments that catch people's attention. Like when Charlotte gently corrected Louise during the Queen's Jubilee or helped him sit still during the coronation. Small things, but they show how close they really are. They look like siblings who actually enjoy each other's company, which isn't something that can be rehearsed. At home, things are surprisingly ordinary. Charlotte plays outside, helps care for their dog Orla, and takes part in regular family outings to local spots near Windsor. There's even been mention of weekend picnics and trips to the local market, though those are usually under the radar. Kate and William have made it clear they want their kids to have as normal a childhood as possible, even if they're living in the middle of royal tradition. That approach shows in the way Charlotte interacts with the public too. She's polite but never stiff, curious but never overexposed. It's easy to forget she's part of one of the most watched families in the world because she doesn't act like a child who's constantly coached. A big part of that comes from home. The comfort of knowing she's safe, supported, and surrounded by people who put her well-being above everything else. It's not flashy, but for a family in the public eye, that kind of consistency means everything. Charlotte's interests reflect a blend of royal tradition and modern childhood. She's not stuck in a castle all day or constantly rehearsing for public events. She's into the kind of things a lot of kids are, just with a few royal twists here and there. Ballet is one of her early loves. Kate Middleton once took her to see the Nutcracker at the Royal Opera House, and reports say Charlotte was completely drawn in by the performance. It wasn't just a casual outing, it stuck with her. She's taken ballet lessons, and it's the kind of passion that's easy to picture continuing as she grows up, whether on stage or not. Sports are another big part of her world. Tennis seems to be a favorite and attracts. Kate has been spotted taking her to Wimbledon, and they both reportedly play. Rugby is also in the mix, and not just as a spectator. With Prince William and Princess Kate both connected to the sport through their patronages, it's no surprise Charlotte's picked up interest. What makes it feel more real is that she's not just watching matches from a royal box, she's actually playing. That same energy shows up in her love for horse riding. That one's been in the family for generations, with Queen Elizabeth famously riding well into her 90s. Charlotte started young and, like her great-grandmother, seems completely at ease on a horse. But it's not all movement and performance, she likes getting hands-on too. There was a birthday video a few years back where she helped Kate bake cupcakes for the local community, and she looked totally comfortable in the kitchen. She's also made crafts for her family, including a bracelet she gave to Prince William. It's those kinds of little details, the baking, the bracelet, that make her feel more like a regular kid. Sure, she has a title and a spotlight, but the things she enjoys are familiar, grounded, and easy to relate to. For all the cameras and protocol, Charlotte still gets to just be a kid. Her influence extends beyond the palace, impacting the global economy. Most kids don't set market trends, but Princess Charlotte is an exception. When she's photographed in public, whether it's a family walk to church or a quick wave from the steps of a hospital, the clothes she's wearing often sell out within hours. It's happened enough times that people started calling it the Charlotte effect, a real phenomenon that's turned this 10-year-old into an unexpected player in retail. One of the earliest examples came when she wore a yellow cardigan from John Lewis in an official birthday photo. The sweater sold out almost immediately. The same thing happened again when she was seen in a floral dress from Rachel Riley, a British children's clothing brand. Shops carrying the label were flooded with orders, and even international retailers saw a spike in interest. This kind of reaction isn't new for royal fashion. Kate Middleton has had a similar effect for years. But seeing it tied to a child underlines how far Charlotte's reach really goes. This isn't just about fashion either. Her public presence, what she wears, how she's styled, even the accessories she's spotted with, feeds into a cycle of media coverage and consumer behavior that companies quietly track. Brands benefit from the exposure even if they're never officially endorsed. Unlike influencers who plug products for money, Charlotte's effect works without promotion. It's entirely organic, driven by visibility and public interest. The result? Her personal brand value has been estimated in the billions, not because she's selling directly anything, but because of the economic activity her image generates. It's the kind of unintentional marketing companies dream about, and it's all tied to how carefully the royal family balances exposure and privacy. There's no business strategy behind it, just a kid in a cardigan, but the ripple effects are real, and they show just how closely the public pays attention when Charlotte steps outside. As the monarchy evolves, so does Charlotte's role within it. She's being raised in a world that still respects tradition but isn't frozen in it. Kate Middleton and Prince William have taken a different approach to parenting than past royal generations. There's more openness now, more attention to the kids having space to be themselves, and that doesn't mean there aren't rules or expectations. They absolutely are, but it's less rigid. Charlotte goes to Lambert School in Berkshire, which is co-ed and fairly progressive by royal standards. The idea is to keep her grounded, to give her a sense of routine beyond public appearances. That's intentional. It's part of a larger shift in how the royal family wants to be seen. More relatable, less distant. And Prince William has spoken publicly about the importance of mental health and resilience. And those values show up in how he and Kate raise their children. How does a 10-year-old princess become a global icon and economic powerhouse? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.